Good morning, everyone. I hope you're all doing fantastic. Yes, we're back to English. And as usual, I'm Mysticle, and today I'll be bringing you the latest in AR and VR news. Some interesting things have happened throughout the last few days and have come to light. So without any further ado, let's jump right into the video. As usual, we're going to begin with some meta news, and the first piece of information that we have on Meta is apparently them leaking some of their own stuff. Now, this should have been noticed by me, admittedly. However, it wasn't, because Meta managed to change these images on their update info quite quickly, and they removed quite a few features that they themselves were actually showcasing in those images. Why they removed the features? Maybe they weren't entirely ready yet. However, they were there, and people managed to capture screenshots. From Luna on Twitter, this screenshot also shows the previously data-mined airplane travel mode, although there's no mention of that in the patch notes. Looks like they are also considering USB microphone support in the future as well. Now, that's very, very interesting. Of course, airplane travel mode is something that a lot of people have wanted for a very, very long time. Using VR headsets on an airplane or while doing any sort of traveling is great because you can watch movies on a massive screen without people around you being able to see what you're watching. And yeah, in this old screenshot, we can see enable airplane travel mode to interact, work, and play in VR while in motion in airplanes. Enjoy the full VR experience while comfortably traveling. Now, my question is, why is it just airplane? Why is it not travel mode? How are airplanes different to vehicles? And then we've also got external microphone. Enabling this feature allows usage of external USB microphones. Restart for the changes to take effect. This is brilliant. Maybe, possibly, the fact that the Quest 3 microphone isn't so amazing finally got to them, and they're working on allowing support for external microphones. This would be great, not just for content creators, but for people that want to up their mic game in multiplayer titles. And this feature already exists on Android phones. In general, you can plug in an external mic using USB OTG and just have that work. So it would be great being able to see that on Quest. Unfortunately, these were removed from patch notes or weren't even mentioned in them. So yeah, they're not out yet, but hopefully it's something we can be looking forward to, as these were official screenshots. Here's a very weird one. Apparently, there's an app that allows you to play Windows PC games on your Quest. Standalone, no PC required. Yeah, I know, very, very weird. We've installed Windows on an Android device before, however, we've not really done something like this. The developer of Mysticle XR plays System Shock 2 natively on his Meta Quest. Mysticle XR is based on the Mysticle emulator, which allows you to run Windows apps and games on Android devices. Mysticle XR brings experimental Meta Quest integration to Mysticle. Now, before you begin thinking that you should be able to play Steam VR on this in any way, shape, or form, no, you can't, at least not yet. Is this leading us towards something like that? I'm not entirely certain, to be honest with you. While this is emulating some sort of x86 support, I don't think it's that far yet. With Mysticle XR, you can theoretically run PC games natively on Meta Quest for the first time. Previously, you had to connect your Quest headset to a PC or stream games from the PC to the headset. However, the developer here demonstrates Mysticle XR in a YouTube video by playing System Shock 2. According to the video, the emulator supports a flat mode and a VR mode. In flat mode, the analog stick acts as a mouse cursor, which enables more accurate control than via a smartphone touch display. In VR mode, head movements are translated into mouse movements, which according to the developer, allows some sort of 3DoF experience. The analog stick is used to activate the arrow keys so that you can move around in games like a VR port. You can also switch between flat and VR mode at any time by pressing in the left analog stick. The developer also writes that 6DoF support would theoretically be possible and could be added later. This is already a massive feat in and of its own. The fact that you should be able to get 6DoF working on it in the future is pretty crazy, but I don't think we're going to be playing Steam VR games on these devices just yet. Again, we've had previous videos where we actually installed Windows on Android devices and tried playing VR on them, and it worked, but it wasn't a great experience. I think if someone is to make a VR headset that can play standalone PC VR, it would be closer to strapping an ROG Ally or a Steam Deck to the back of a headset rather than running it on Android-based hardware. But I could be wrong. The TCL crowdfunding campaign is now live. TCL has launched a crowdfunding campaign for the RayNeo X2, the first standalone AR glasses. We've had a previous video about this. These glasses I'm actually super excited for and would love to try them out. They are the first standalone AR glasses. AR glasses that don't need to be powered by any external device. So you don't need to have a wire going down your shirt, plugging into your phone, or anything like that. These things are entirely standalone. These glasses are priced at $700. RayNeo claims the X2 will be capable of the kind of out-of-home use case people have been envisioning for AR glasses for years now, including outdoor navigation and real-time speech translation anchored to the person speaking. Very, very impressive. Again, we've talked about these in a previous video. However, that crowdfunding campaign is now live. So I'm very interested to see how this goes. And another thing I'm super interested to see how goes, the Pico 4S. We've seen leaks and we've seen information that apparently ByteDance wasn't too happy about the sales of the Pico headset and the fact that the Pico 5 has been cancelled. Now, these were reports. However, we're now seeing leaks that a future 4S, a kind of additional version of the 4, apparently might be in the works. And here from Luna on Twitter, some have asked for a link, but this site seems to mark CN government domains as spam, lol. So here we have a screenshot of what seems to be the Pico 4S patent, and it's mostly in Chinese. However, it definitely does say Pico 4S. And then we have another post by Luna. ByteDance recently trademarked Pico 4S, so that earlier was a trademark, which may be the name of the Pico 4 refresh. The information has leaked. The device is also likely to have MetaQuest Touch Plus style ringless controllers tracked by IR and passive hand tracking fusion. So once again, looking at these controllers, I mean instantly what comes to mind? Quest Plus controllers. We've seen this before. I wonder whether this is another Qualcomm reference design. Apparently the previous ones were actually Qualcomm reference designs, the ones with the rings on top, so that's something interesting for you right there. It's why so many companies were actually using that same design. But here, once again, we're seeing something very, very similar to what we have with the Quest Plus, and I would love to see what kind of specs we would be looking at in a 4S. A refresh might be nice. Quite a few people actually very, very much enjoy the Pico 4. And do you know what else I enjoy? Watching movies in VR. A lot of people have been saying that the Vision Pro with its very soft strap is actually very comfortable for watching movies. And maybe that's why VLC is apparently working on a Vision Pro app. Quest version is possible. Now, you're actually able to install VLC on the Quest already, just sideload the APK since they do have an Android app. So this isn't necessarily something new here, but seeing an actual made for VR app would be nice. It would certainly allow for more options for decoding movies. According to the VLC president, Videolan is working on a Vision Pro version of the media player. And to quote, "We already have a version of VLC running on the Vision Pro. It is unclear whether the application will be released. VLC seems to be in no hurry, as the potential user base is still very small. Quote again, I'm not sure if there is a use case yet," says Kempf. The VLC president also says he is open to working on a version for MetaQuest, but adding that there are already many good players available for the platform. That is also very true, and once again, we've got basically unlimited players available on the Quest because we can just sideload whatever we want. What else would be nice? Having actual controllers on the Vision Pro. People have been using workarounds. Trust me, ever since Steam VR has started working on the Vision Pro in a pretty good capacity, to be honest with you, but apparently Apple is working on something completely different. Now, this, I do not see how you'd use this for gaming. Just imagine. Apple's new XR stylus patent could describe Vision Pro's first controller. Now, first is a key word here. Hopefully we'd see something a bit more gamer-friendly in the future. The Vision Pro doesn't support motion controllers. However, Apple published a new patent last month that describes an Apple Pencil-like device which could point the way for the company's first Vision Pro supported controller. As reported by the Mac Observer, the so-called handheld controllers with charging and storage systems patent was published on February 29th, specifying a stylus-like controller that enables the user to input to an XR headset. This includes swiping motions, waving motions, writing movements, drawing movements, shaking motions, rotations, etc., the patent says. As patents tend to do, it's fairly sparse on detail when it comes to functionality, although it notes that tracking could include active or passive visual markers that can be tracked with an optical sensor in an external electronic device, which may include input devices such as touch sensors, force sensors, buttons, knobs, and wheels. Instead, the patent deals more with how it's docked and wirelessly charged. One of the ways could be by attaching to the head strap or main housing portion of the head-mounted device, the patent says. That's interesting interesting. Apple does have interesting methods of charging devices, I guess we can say, with both the Apple Pencil and the Apple Mouse being charged in interesting ways, at least the first iteration of the Apple Pencil. And connecting it to a side of a head strap is actually not a terrible idea. I mean, you'd always have it on hand. People tend to already do that with a pencil. Some people, you know, put pencils behind their ears and just keep them there and always have them on hand. It would be quite interesting to see something like that on a VR headset, you know? But it's definitely not what a lot of people were hoping for. A lot of people were, again, hoping for some sort of gaming-like controllers. But I do think this would be a nice beginning, and optical sensors in an external electronic device. Does that mean base stations? A lot of people would really dislike that. But yeah, Apple working on some sort of controller. Good news, I guess. Finally, props to Gorilla Tag. Gorilla Tag is apparently the first Quest title to receive 100,000 reviews. And so many people love this title, I mean, come on. In terms of reviews and revenue generated, Gorilla Tag is by far one of the most successful games on the Quest platform. It's now the first to top 100,000 user reviews. As first reported by Mixed, the humble game of Gorilla Tag first topped 100K last month, putting it around 102,500 reviews at the time of this writing. While impressive, this alone doesn't make it the most reviewed game on Quest. It garnered that particular achievement the day it came out of App Lab and launched on the main store back in December 2020. Back then, it had already surpassed leaders Beat Saber and social VR platform Rec Room at a whopping 46,000 reviews. Now runner-up Beat Saber sits just north of 50,000 reviews. Wow, so it really is quite far ahead of any other competition, and most of those reviews are actually very positive. So there you guys go. That's going to be it for today's video. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day or night. If you guys like this one, please do leave a like. If you disliked it, I guess this one works too, but let me know why down below. If you guys are not yet part of our community, check out our Discord and our Reddit down below. We want to see you posting your spicy memes. And as usual, thank you so much to anyone supporting the channel in any way, shape, or form. You guys are amazing. Seriously, much love to all the Patreons. You guys are incredible. To all the people that leave a super thanks. Seriously, amazing. You guys are so much support right now. And as usual, if you guys want to be notified of future content coming up on the channel, make sure to smack that subscribe button with your forehead, ding my bell, and see you again in the next video. Peace.
Yeah, I don't know how he's gonna fix that, but he might be able to. I mean, it's gonna be an interesting repair, that's for sure.